What about liquidity pools? So everyone in here is basically in some form of liquidity pools. They're doing yield farming. They're providing liquidity to the market. They're market makers. Some are to the tune of 200% returns over the year in some assets that are extremely volatile, and they're getting moved in and out of range. And like all of this stuff is happening in liquidity pools. Sometimes they're rebalancing, meaning they're locking in their losses or their gains, and they're rebalancing those positions. How are those treated? That's probably a loaded question, but from the best that we can answer.
I would say, obviously, you've got a more advanced crew here, right? Because when you're locking things in liquidity pools, you're obviously maneuvering funds around. You know how to combine assets to throw them in a liquidity pool to get this APY, right? So initially, you're going to have two sides to that. You have, generally whatever token you're in there, and then ETH on the other side is how I look at it because I'm on ETH mainly. And you add these tokens to the liquidity pool in a certain range bound asset. And generally you get an NFT that represents your position on the back end. So that's a taxable transaction at that moment, right? You're almost selling those two assets into the pool, and your NFT represents what you got on the other side.
So, sweet. So Uniswap, we get into a ETH USDC pool for $3,000. We get a little $3,000. It's worth $3,000 the second we click the button. Got it. Yep. So that's a taxable event.
Yep. So you've sold your ETH and you've sold your other side of the token to get this NFT, which represents this. So rewards aside, right? When you put those in, you have this NFT representing your position. When you remove your LP, it's not going to come out at the same amount, right? Because the pools have fluctuated, the coins have gone up and down, right? So now that's come out, right? It's another taxable transaction, right? So you have those two things. And when you're in the pool, you have these rewards. The moment you receive these rewards, right, they don't have a cost basis, right? So it's just picked up almost, we can identify them two areas. It's either other income or interest income technically. And the interest income, they're taxed at your ordinary income tax rates, right? And then the other thing with that is you have to remember when you've paid tax on that, right? So if I pick up this interest in the current year for what I'm getting for APY, and I pay tax on that then becomes the basis in that asset, because you don't want to be double taxed on that asset when you sell it going down the road, right? So, these simple transactions create multiple layers of taxable events. And I do think that's where fostering a relationship with whoever's doing it, right? To identify these things, be like, all right, this is, these rewards that you picked up, that are shown as other income that you paid tax on, we need to add these as cost basis going forward. Now, if you're skipping around from do-it-yourself site to do-it-yourself site because, you're trying to find the best one, these things get lost in translation, right? And, you're picking up income, well, you're paying taxes on this income multiple times when you shouldn't be.
Yep. So good. In the States, how many years can you go back and reconcile? Am I using the right word when I say reconcile? But basically,
you can amend them.
There we go.
Yep.
How many years?
So you can go back to 3 previous years, right?
3.
So,
okay, cool.
And we always tell our clients, we're like, hey, if you haven't reported, and we're seeing a lot of this, like, hey, I haven't reported the last 3 years, I haven't reported this, and we'll go back, and a lot of people haven't reported since the beginning. We're like, let's take you from the inception. We're going to roll you forward every year, and we're going to say, hey, in 2021, right, you had these losses, right? Because look, let's be real. We all had a lot of losses the last couple of years. It was a hard market to be invested in cryptocurrency or anywhere. And so for the States, you can take those losses and you roll them over every year, right? You can take only up to $3,000 of a capital loss on your tax return, and everything over that gets rolled over until you can offset some gains with it. And so if you have a $100,000 loss in 2022 and you're like, well, I had a loss, well, I put that on my taxes. Well, maybe this year you had a $100,000 gain. If you didn't show it in 2022 and roll it over, you're not going to be able to prove that you have something to offset that gain and not pay taxes on it.
And you can only do up to $3,000 in the States
So your capital loss max that you can show on your personal income tax return is $3,000, right?
No doubt. Hey, I didn't know that. So Canada's a lot more.
Yeah, let me clarify that. So it's if you didn't have any other gains, then you can only take $3,000 off of your current income.
Got it.
And then you can take the rest of that,
Got it.
and it's a roll forward to following years. Yeah.
Got it. So if you did make 100 grand next year, you could basically pay zero tax on that.
Exactly.
Just keep rolling it forward and rolling it forward until you hit the next bull market.
Yep.
Got it.
And so it's worth going back and getting it done.
100%.
If because a lot of people, that you talk to, like, why would I do it? Why would I spend this time paying to do it when it doesn't make sense? I had a bunch of losses, it's not taxable. You're like, well, because in the future, if you're investing and you're doing it wisely, you're hoping to have a gain at some point. And why pay tax on that gain, if you can use your losses
100%.
prior? So
oh yeah, go ahead, Brian.
So, if we think about this full 4-year Bitcoin cycle that we roll through, if you don't pay your tax, if you don't go back and file your taxes from your losses in 21 and 22, you're not going to have that.
Yes.
You also
you're not going to be able to do that.
You'll lose them if you get out of those windows, right? Because you can't file those taxes and carry them forward. So you can't show a carryover loss if it's outside of the look back window of amending your returns.